and share my screen. So my name is Julie. I'm so happy to be on this call with you all tonight, to be sharing what I consider to be some amazing information and knowledge and education with you. People have educated me along the way, so I'm just the messenger. And I couldn't be more excited to be partnering with Roxanne and Karyn. Recently met Roxanne within the past few months, and for anybody, Mindy, as you know her, and Karyn, and anyone who watches this recording, she's such a ball of energy. It's been so much fun to get to know her. So she has come alongside of us, along with Karyn, in this unique community that we call the Healthy Living Revolution. And we are a group that are really trying to come alongside of families and individuals that are looking to get healthier, but we're proposing solutions that are simple, doable, and fun. And we are passionate for a few reasons, but mostly because, unfortunately, there are really two startling trends in our world today. And the first is that environmental toxins are increasing. So whether this is products you're putting on your skin, the air that you're breathing, the water that you're drinking, the food that you're eating, the pharmaceuticals that you're taking, our world is much more toxic today than it was years ago. It's really more toxic than we've ever known it. And at the same time that our environment is becoming incredibly toxic, our food quality has decreased dramatically. I love this image because this gentleman is in the center aisles of the grocery store. And I know in my own health journey about 6 years ago, I made a big switch where I stopped looking at calories and fat, and I started reading ingredient labels. And I was shocked to learn that most of the food that I was eating wasn't really food. It was more like food-like products. It was full of chemicals, full of ingredients that I didn't understand. So this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're eating, what we're feeding our children. It's foods full of preservatives, flavor enhancers, artificial colors, pesticides. And our body doesn't recognize this. It doesn't know what to do with these ingredients. And it definitely isn't helping to fight this increase in toxicity in our environment. This is Dr. David Katz. He's the head of prevention at Yale. I'm super excited because I get to see him speak in Tampa next month. But he said that this may be the first generation of children to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. It's actually been proven true since he's made that statement that this will be the first generation of children to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents if we do not make any changes. Now, I believe that we're gonna fix that. I believe that's why we're all on the call tonight, because we get passionate when our children are involved. But that's really alarming. For all of documented mankind, we have always lived longer. So if we are doing something today that is reversing that trend, it's time to open up our eyes and figure out what we can do to change it. By age 12, many of our children have developed the beginning stages of hardening of the arteries. 1 in 3 children is obese, 1 in 3 will develop diabetes, and more than 25% take prescription drugs. This is Dr. Bill Sears. He shares that us adults really aren't doing any better. 1 in 3 people live with some form of cardiovascular disease. 1 in 3 women will have cancer. So there's 5 of us on the call tonight. 1 in 3 women will have cancer. 1 in 2 men will have cancer. That is amazing. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by 2050, and 1 in 3 is obese. But the reason we're on the call, like enough depressing stuff, is this quote right here at the bottom: 75% of all chronic disease is preventable. And you get to hear from Bridget tonight, who has a chronic disease that is most definitely not preventable. There's no doubt there are things that we are born with, and there are things that we can't do anything about. But 75% of what we're dealing with today are lifestyle-related diseases. So what if we could do something to help with that big portion of disease, 75%? And that's what we're going to talk about. So oxidative stress is linked to poor health. Well, what is oxidative stress? We all have it. If we're breathing, we have oxidative stress going on in our body. If we're breathing more, we have even more. So if we're exercising, we actually have more oxidative stress, which really is our internal aging or our internal rusting of our body. So consider an apple. When you cut open an apple and the flesh of that apple is exposed to the air outside, it begins to oxidize. So it begins to brown, to rust, to age. And the same thing is happening to our cells every single day. But if you take that apple and you squeeze lemon juice on it, an antioxidant, excuse me, my throat is very dry tonight. It is going to delay that aging process. It's going to delay the browning and the rusting And the same things happen internally. Antioxidants provide almost like a barrier around our cells to help keep them healthy, to keep them, aging at a slower pace. And we all know where we get antioxidants from, right? From fruits and vegetables. But unfortunately, today's mass-produced produce is packing a much less nutritional punch. There's two main reasons for this. The first is soil depletion. I'm not going to go into that, but if you're curious, you should Google it. You will be shocked at what you learn. But the second is that it is mass produced. So we know we can run up the street to the store and get most any fruit or vegetable that we're curious to buy. But in order for us to have that variety available to us all the time, our produce is being picked a good 2 to 3 weeks before we buy it. And so that it can sit on our countertop for a week before we eat it. And the scary thing about that is that most of the nutrition comes into the plant within the last 24 to 48 hours of ripening on the vine. And our produce is picked well before it is even close to ripe. Because of course, if they waited till it was ripe, it would not be there for us in the grocery store. So this is the iron content that was present in a bowl of spinach in 1953. And in 1997, you had to eat 43 bowls of spinach to get the same iron content that was present in 1953. And that was over 20 years ago. So I know it's even worse today. And I really believe this image sums up a lot of those scary statistics from those doctors earlier. Because like we said, our food should be defending us from this increase in toxicity, and our food is incredibly depleted. So this is the difference between a label on a multivitamin and what's in an apple. So, about 50 or 60 years ago, we knew we had a deficiency. And it was at that time that we came up with multivitamins. And we believed at that time that there were 12 essential nutrients in food that the human body needed. We had no idea. It's actually been within the past 10 years that they're starting to discover there's actually over 20,000 different nutrients present in one apple. They've located over 25,000 different nutrients in one blueberry and over 14,000 different nutrients in one avocado. So we really had no idea back in the 1950s and 1960s when vitamins came out that there was really that much in food. And what food offers is the synergy. Ingredient number 7 works with ingredient number 4002 and ingredient number 10,004. And our body knows exactly what to do with the apple. It doesn't know what to do with isolated synthetic vitamins. As we know, vitamins and supplements have been around for 50 and 60 years, and we have not gotten any healthier. So we do not have a vitamin deficiency. We have a whole food deficiency, and we need more whole foods. We also need that whole synergy. Just real quickly, I'll share that lycopene is present in a tomato. Lycopene is known to fight prostate cancer, but they are finding when they remove it from the tomato, it has zero effect on the cancer. And that's because that lycopene is working with all of the thousands of other ingredients to do what it needs to do in the body. So they used to say 5 a day. Then they said 7 to 13 a day. It's coming, they switched it to say more matters because they're learning that if you're pregnant, fighting disease, an athlete, over 200 pounds, you actually need closer to 16 to 20 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. I've read some studies that suggest that within the next 50 years, they're going to ask that we have 30 servings of fruits and vegetables a day to fight what we're exposed to, and because our food is so depleted. And really, more matters. Nobody with the standard American diet has too many fruits and vegetables. We all are at a loss. We're at a depletion. We all need more. So we are so excited tonight because at some point, this amazing product was introduced to us called Juice Plus. Our Juice Plus product has been on the market for 25 years. It's this amazing variety, beautiful color that you see in front of us. It was developed over 30 years ago by a doctor. His name is Dr. Smokey Santillo, and he helped cancer patients juice. His dad was diagnosed with lymphoma and given 3 weeks to live. So Dr. Smokey decided that he wanted to find a way to make his juice more powerful. So he decided that instead of juicing the fruits and vegetables, he was going to take the whole thing. He was going to allow it to ripen on the vine, which is when it has most of its nutrition, and then take the whole thing with the pits, the peels, the rinds, the seeds, even the leaves from the plant whenever possible. He threw it in a massive Vitamix, blended it up. What was left over was a slurry, and he took that slurry and dehydrated it at a cold temperature to preserve the nutrients, and it resulted in a powder. You can see in my camera, there's little powder in these capsules. what we call powdered produce. He pumped his dad full of this powder, and he ended up living for 6 more years. And not only did he live, but he thrived. He had a great quality of life. And it was at that time that he knew he was onto something. So our amazing product hit the market 25 years ago, and there are 3 things that make it very unique. And the first is that this is literally food in a capsule, like Jetsons. It's the Jetsons. So this has a nutrition label, not a vitamin or a supplement label. This is simply food. When my son was 6 months old, as soon as he could have food, I opened up these capsules and put this into his purees. Now my kids are 2 and 4, and they just eat the capsules. They chew them up, but we also have chewables. Because this is food. This is food. There is no warning label. If you can eat a salad, you can have Juice Plus. It is full of that phytonutrition, not isolated vitamins. It's non-GMO, dairy-free, and gluten-free. We have an NSF certification, which is a third party that certifies that what you say is in your product is and nothing more. It's the highest level of certification you can receive, and we've had it for over 20 years. It's what ensures that our product is free of any herbicides, pesticides, and fungicides, yeast, mold, and bacteria, which is even better than organic produce, because even the organic produce, you can't ensure that it's free of all of those pesticides. It's also why professional athletes and Olympic athletes could take Juice Plus. Finally, when our product hit the market 25 years ago, people just had very unique experiences. Whether it was with asthma, allergies, eczema, autoimmune, diabetes, cholesterol, it was different in everyone. So they decided that they wanted to take this product with human beings with blood drawn and see what it was doing. And now we are the most researched nutritional product in the world. We have 38 published studies. We have 6 underway right now. We've been researched at Brigham Young, Yale, Vanderbilt, MD Anderson Cancer Center, and facilities also, in other countries, which is just absolutely amazing. So I'm going to share with you my favorite research study because I can't help myself. This was done at the University of Maryland and published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. It was the brainchild of a group of cardiologists. They know that 50% of heart attacks happen 4 hours after consuming a high-fat meal. And they wanted to see the effects of Juice Plus on heart health. So they took a group of people to a very popular fast food restaurant and fed them a pretty standard fast food breakfast, and they waited 4 hours and measured the constriction in their brachial artery. So this is that gray bar that you see right here. Everybody had about 40 to 50% constriction 4 hours after eating that meal. So their body was working 40 to 50% harder to pump their blood through their body, which is amazing. And then they divided the group up into 3. So they put They put one group on a placebo. They put the next group on our fruit and our veggies right here. And then the last group was on our fruit, veggie, and our berry blends. And they waited only 28 days. This purple bar right here is 28 days later. They took them back to that same restaurant, fed them the same meal, and waited 4 hours. As you can see, the placebo group had a slight reduction in constriction. They actually had the least amount of constriction to begin with. The group on our fruits and our veggies, they went from about 45%, they had 68% less constriction 28 days later. That's how I know how to say it. And then the group on all 3 with our berries, they had the most constriction to begin with, about 50% constriction. They went from 50% to less than 1% constriction. They had a reduction of 98% constriction. And the reason why I love this study is because these people changed nothing else. All they added to their diet was 6 capsules full of fruits and vegetables. And it proves what I was saying earlier, that more matters. Maybe you can't change everything in your life right now to be optimally healthy, but can you add 6 capsules or some chewables? Your body knows what to do with food. It will know exactly what to do with it. And if it can handle that fast food meal better, what else can it handle better? What about the cold or the flu or, a more serious infection that's going around? So I love that study. We have an amazing product called our Juice Plus Complete Shakes. I want you to consider that your body is like a car. A car needs oil and gas to run well and a high quality of each. Well, your body is the same way. It needs micronutrition and macronutrition. Micronutrition is those thousands of ingredients that I showed you in an apple. It's what you can receive through our Juice Plus capsules. Many of us in America do not have enough micronutrition, and the micronutrition that we have is depleted. So with your car, if you delay an oil change or use a low quality oil or don't take care of the oil, your car will still run with gas, right? But eventually these problems are brewing and it's going to break down. And the same is true with your body. We need that micronutrition every single day in a high quality. And then in terms of gas, that's our macronutrition. That's proteins, fats, and carbs. And in our country, we have an abundance of macronutrition, but very little of it is high quality. And that's where our Juice Plus complete shakes come in. Number one, they are delicious. So good. They come in vanilla and chocolate. My whole family eats one every single day, including my 2 and 4-year-olds. They are food. They are not a supplement. So don't be thinking protein shake. It's called complete because it is a complete snack or a complete meal. It's low glycemic, so it stabilizes your blood sugar. The number one thing my friends tell me is these actually keep me full. And that's why, not because there's thousands of grams of protein, but because their blood sugar is stable. They're vegan and non-GMO, gluten and dairy free. They're full of plants, 24 different plants, and some powerful prebiotic fibers. So if you are not regular with our capsules and our shakes, you will become regular quickly. Finally, last October, our company launched our first capsule product in 15 years, and it's our Juice Plus Omega. We know that omega fatty acids support your heart, brain, joints, skin, and eyes. Many people are bridging the gap with the fish oil, but we decided to skip the fish and go straight to the plants, which is where the fish get their omegas from. So we go straight to the algae, and with our product, we actually have a full spectrum of omega. So it's omega 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, all from plants, which makes it much more sustainable. What's really important is that our capsules are cold pressed. I don't know if you can see these things. I call them dreamsicles. They taste like orange, although Roxanne says do not eat them. I love eating them, chewing them up. So it took years to come up with the technology to cold press our oils. If you currently take an oil supplement and it's fully encapsulated, they have to heat that capsule up so high that it degrades the quality of the oil inside. So you don't have that with our oils. I'm crazy about these. They have really helped with some brain health for me. They've totally gotten rid of some anxiety that I had. I have had customers feel major differences in their joints, and customers have experiences with their eyesight changing. So I love our omega capsules. I was kind of annoyed when we launched them because I believed we had the perfect product, and why do we mess with perfection? And now I really see that they are a critical piece and something that I was missing before. So I will wrap this up by sharing what Dr. Richard Du Bois says. He was head of infectious disease in Atlanta, Georgia. He's been named America's top doc multiple times, and he was one of the first of now thousands of healthcare professionals to come alongside of Juice Plus and recommend this product to their patients. And he said there is nothing available anywhere else in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus does. And he pretty much beautifully sums it up. So at this point, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to ask Roxanne, I don't know if Bridget's available right now, so I'm going to ask Roxanne to unmute herself if she can, and just share with us why she decided to add Juice Plus and the experience she had. Take it away.
Okay. So I used to take Juice Plus when I was probably in my early 20s, late teens, when my mom was a rep, and didn't really understand it and didn't think it was really worth anything, but, took it because she always put it in my face. And then for years didn't have it. But since birth, I've dealt with horrible seasonal allergies, to the point where I think when I was in 4th grade, we went and got me tested to see what I was allergic to. And they prick you all up and down your arms and they number your arms and they prick you with stuff. And I was allergic to like 90 out of the 100 things. So I used to spend every spring just with a washcloth on my eyes, couldn't breathe, couldn't see, felt like I had poison ivy on my eyes. And Bridget got me back into Juice Plus a couple of years ago. And I just really felt like I had nothing else to lose. I was taking Claritin, Allegra, Zyrtec, Flonase every day, and it wasn't working. And so I thought, what do I have to lose? I'm going to try this. And the first year was definitely better. And then this past year, I did not have one episode where my eyes swelled up. Couple times, they kind of felt a little itchy. And then I took a Zyrtec and I was fine. Just took one pill instead of the 17 I used to take that were ineffective. So that's probably been my biggest change with the omegas. I am feeling a little bit better. My knees, I think. Waiting for the eye piece to kick in because I really feel like my night vision is terrible. So still hopeful. I've only been doing the omegas about a month. And then the other big change that I've seen health-wise is in my son. He had cystic acne, just, blisters all over his face. And it's almost completely gone. So that's only been probably 2 months that I've been really insistent that my kids eat their fruits and vegetables every morning. So those are the major changes that I've seen.
Wow, that is amazing. So I can amen the allergy story. That was me. I was on an antibiotic about every 6 to 8 weeks because my allergies were so bad, they would lead to a sinus infection. So here I am coming up on 4 years of no antibiotics ever since I added Juice Plus. So I love that. It's a game changer. So thank you for sharing. Bridge, if you can unmute yourself and share your story, we'd love to hear from you.
Hey, yeah, thanks. So I found Juice Plus about 3 years ago, and just like Julie and Roxanne, it made sense simply because my family of 5 did not eat the 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables that we needed to every day. And like nowhere near that. So that was the only reason we were doing it. Well, fast forward about 3 to 4 months in is when I had my big transformational moment, like 2x4 to the forehead kind of moment. I have a chronic lung disease called cystic fibrosis. And like Julie said, it's a chronic disease, but I was born with it. So it's not anything to do with lifestyle. It affects your lungs, your kidneys, liver, pancreas, and sinuses. So it's basically 5 diseases all wrapped up into one pretty little bow. And anyway, my digestion was just a disaster, train wreck, a mess. Juice Plus, 3 months to 4 months in, I had that day where I was like, oh my gosh, my stomach is happy. That was like so amazing because it really, truly did increase my quality of life. Before that, I was still living life and doing it all, but I just felt like a truck hit me all the time. So to not feel that way was huge. I still have episodes from here and there and whatever, because I still have the disease. That defect doesn't ever go away. But then to go back to that, I got excited about why my body was changing that way, because the only change I had made was add in the trio. I wasn't even really fully doing the shakes at that time. It was literally just the trio. I eventually added the shakes in, and then I noticed my energy was a little bit better, and then my gums were not inflamed and bleeding when I would go get my teeth cleaned. So that was a huge indicator of lower systemic inflammation throughout my entire body. Got more excited, started going to events, learning about that just fabulous research that, it's just wonderful to know that this isn't just like, something that we're feeling. Like, this is real stuff that's happening on a cellular level inside of our bodies. And for somebody living with a chronic condition who I often have to take medication, I wish I could say that I haven't been on an antibiotic in 4 years. But I know that I have to take certain medications that will keep me alive, but they all come with a price. So I have to be able to strengthen my body through that the best way that I can and help my body detox from those side effects. So the simplicity of Juice Plus is hands down, it goes right alongside any medication I take. Juice Plus goes before it. I mean, because I cannot do my day without it. And I really will never stop, because it's just been such a blessing. And I feel that it's strengthened my body to the best of my ability.
I want to say mic drop. No, you are that story is just amazing. Just to be able to have something help to give you hope when you found it 3 years ago. It's been so fun to watch Bridget and her journey, that is for sure. And she has taught me a lot along the way. So thank you for sharing, Bridge. Karyn, if you can unmute yourself and just share why Juice Plus made sense to you, why you decided to add it, and then we can wrap this up.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. So I learned about Juice Plus over the summer. I was at the lake with Roxanne, and she was talking about how great she felt, and I was telling her how miserable I felt. I was bloated. I was uncomfortable. I could not go to the bathroom. It was horrible, and it's a chronic thing for me. And she was like, here, try this. It's healthy. You're going to love it. She gave me enough for a couple of weeks, and I was like completely hooked. It changed the way I felt. I guess almost 3 months later, I feel so much better, and I feel better knowing that how healthy it is. I mean, I have a garden. I try and eat and feed my kids and my family as much whole food as possible. But this just, it makes me feel better. Like we're bridging the gap, like they say. And I really look forward to what else it can do for me, because I don't think I've even really started. And the more I read about it, the more excited I get. And the more Roxanne tells me about it, the more excited I get. So I feel like I'm just at the tip of the iceberg.
Oh my gosh, Karyn, that's amazing. Yes, it's never good when things aren't working like they should be working, right? So to be able to get that going again that's a game changer. Like Bridget said, it's quality of life. So thank you for sharing and being vulnerable. I love hearing your excitement. We're passionate about the fact that it's simple. Most of us on here are probably running around busy all the time. And it's just a way for us to kind of have this little investment into our health every day. I call it this is my insurance. So at this point, we really ask you to do one of three things. Number one, maybe you're just fired up to eat more fruits and vegetables and you're like, okay, I need to get healthier. And if you are just ready to go to Schnucks and buy a bunch of organic produce and do what you can, we totally support you in that. If that's what you're feeling right now, do it, please. But number two, if Juice Plus makes sense to you, please reach out to whoever invited you or whoever shares this call with you. It is only about $2 to $3 a day. Kids get it for free, 4 through 18 or full-time college undergrads, which is an amazing program. And it really is just the most affordable, simple way we know to get a massive amount of nutrition into busy families. And then number three, if you saw this info and you started thinking of people in your life who need to hear this, we really want to talk to you about that, because it is our mission to inspire healthy living around the world. And we want to get this message out to people. Even though we've been around for 25 years, we are only in 2% of homes. So many people really aren't aware of this simple solution, or they think they know what it is, but they really don't. So if you're willing to connect us with someone in your life who's looking for more health, we'd love to share our mission with them. And that's really it. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute you all so you can all say good night. I'll stop the recording. Hold on, did I do that? Sorry. Technology gets